Yeah, g'day, it's Boycie here again, Brent Boyce from FarmWise in Tasman. Today I'd like to talk to you about milking frequency. A statistic for you, only around 45% of New Zealand farmers milk twice a day all year. Specifically, the changes we are seeing for this are from twice a day to 3 and 2 and once a day, and now to 10 and 7. So firstly, a brief history of what these changes are in milking frequency. Now, I started my first foray into changing milking frequency here in November 2001 in a very wet spring. Originally I called it 14, 16, 18, and they were the hourly splits per 48 hours. And over the next 3 to 4 seasons we realised we could be a lot more flexible with our hours. So I changed the name of this milking frequency to 3 and 2. Now, I presented my findings on 3 and 2 at the International Once a Day Conference in Hamilton in 2007. And it did generate quite a lot of interest. Over the years, I've helped a lot of farmers change to 3 and 2, both nationally and internationally. And I've written a lot of articles and done a lot of presentations on it. Now, in 2016 and 17, as part of an industry award, I rewrote my papers on 3 and 2. And I started to think more about milking frequency itself. And I looked again at what we're actually doing on 3 and 2 and what we're trying to achieve. Now, the way I've had people doing 3 and 2 has changed a lot in how they've mixed up their milking times over the years. Within that 48-hour period, we've gone from things like the 14, 16, 18 splits in like 15, 16, 17 years ago to 12, 18, 18 splits and 10, 19, 19 splits, etc. And now I've got people who do 8, 20, 20-hour splits in that 48 hours. But no matter how you split it, the big factor is that our weekends are still a dog's breakfast on 3 and 2. Now, there was a real eureka moment for me in the spring of 2018 when I looked at the timings between our milkings. Twice a day is 14 milkings a week, once a day is 7, and 3 and 2 is 10.5 milkings a week. I realised that we're missing some big opportunities. Why can't we milk between these hours? Why can't we do 13 or 12 or 11 or 10 or 9 milkings a week instead of the old 7, 10.5 and 14? So in December 2018 and the summer of 2019, I had my first farmers doing 10 and 7. In February and December 2019, I wrote a couple of articles on milking frequency. I called them How Few Can We Do? Parts 1 and 2, and this outlined the things that I was seeing. I now have farmers in their second lactation of 10 and 7 and others who are very eagerly waiting to join. Now, 10 and 7 is quite possibly a way forward for the industry to manage people and logistics. It's simply twice a day on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and once a day Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday and Sunday. For a lot of people, this is simply just doing your usual 5 to 6 a.m. in the morning and 2 to 4 in the afternoon on the twice a day. So Monday, Wednesday and Friday. If you're 5 a.m. and 3 p.m, just carry on with that. It's pretty simple. And you do once a day for the other 4 days. It's really hot in December, January, February here. And so a lot of my people will do a later evening one. They could be as late as 7 p.m. on that twice a day milking. And it could be 7 a.m, etc. on those once a day days. The big thing here with 10 and 7 is this. Here's your weekends, Saturday and Sunday, both once a day. Your weekends are settled. Cool thing about 10 and 7 is that Tuesdays and Thursdays in our rural areas, they tend to be when we have sports practices. Rugby, netball, football, you know, that's when we have it. Now, if you do have a lot of heat in the summer and you do go out to 7 p.m, etc., that doesn't mean you can bring it to 3 p.m. or whatever in the afternoon again. You can change and react and be ready for it. The cows are flexible, we can be too. Note that you can actually do different milking regimes throughout the season. Look, I've got a number of my guys who will actually start on once a day. They'll do 7 milkings a week, and they'll do that for the first 3 to 4 weeks of lactation. Then they'll do twice a day, right through to Christmas. Then they'll change now to 10 and 7 now they'll go 10 and 7. And they'll do that to the middle of, say, April. And then they'll do once a day for the last sort of 45 days of lactation. And so instead of doing, say, 608 milkings a year, which is from the 1st of August to the 31st of May, they'll do around 470 milkings. And they'll do pretty much the same, sometimes even better production than they were on twice a day. And they're doing 130 less milkings a year. Now, to back this up from what we're seeing, Dairy NZ are doing a great job with their research on 3 and 2 and general milking frequency. This is their second season. It's going really, really well. This research is backing up what many farmers are seeing, and it's given us confidence we're on the right track. And they also have a 10 and 7 satellite farm in Canterbury providing information. So it's great news. Now, I particularly enjoy the practical logistics of making different milking frequencies work. When I milked cows in Canterbury in 1986 and 87, and that was with the first of the big dairy conversions, I got first-hand experience of what the big hours and not enough time off and sleep did to people in their businesses. It's been a passion of mine since then to figure out how to make this better. It's been great to see the industry come on board with the research. And note that on that point myself, Paul Edwards from Dairy NZ and dairy farmers Steve and Tracy Henderson from Canterbury, we're on track to do a workshop and presentations on milking frequency at SIDE this year, the South Island Dairy event, and that'll be in June, this coming year. I hope to see you there. So rip into 10 and 7. If you think it's something you'd like to try, you can get in touch with me if you want to yarn, or talk to my FarmWise colleagues around the country. I'd like to wish you and your families all the very, very best for Christmas. Cheers.